Guys, welcome back to yet another Sunday stretch sesh with me. We are going to keep working on our shoulders and our backs today and trying to get into some good bridges, maybe wheels. I don't really know what all the poses are called, but we're going to do them, and I have several stretches that range from nice little muscle warm-ups all the way to getting into some more intense stuff. So let's get to it. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to start with some more shoulder and arm warm-ups like we did last week, just to make sure, even if you're warm from a workout, or maybe if you're starting out cold, that these muscles, like here, because you have tons and tons of little muscles through every bit of your upper body, make sure those are ready to go. So I'm gonna sit on my knees. I don't care how you sit, but we are going to hug it out, alternating which arm goes on top. And I see that there is a friend or two with us right now, which is awesome because I know today is the big game, Go Sports. So I'm happy you're here. I have no idea what time game shenanigans start. So, get a good stretch before you get too intense into that buffalo chicken dip. I'm just taking one arm across my body. And I'm going to pull that elbow up behind my head, trying to keep my head up and not crunching down into myself. And I'm going to hug it out one more time. And other arm across. These are good stretches. And the hugging it out really does make a difference in getting a better stretch when you pull your shoulder across you. Try not to let this shoulder be up in the air. Pull it down and away from your body. And up and behind. I personally like this, even though I can reach around behind me and grab my hands. I personally like pushing my elbow down more because I feel like I can get a better stretch that way. But it's really up to you. Alrighty, and I'm just going to roll my wrists out. I just want to show you guys this sweatshirt. This came from our Spintronics store. I don't know if this particular design is still available. This is a retro one, but super cute. We have lots of cute stuff. So go get you some sweatshirt. It's snowy outside and you're gonna need them. Hold hands with yourself and roll those wrists out. If you want to be a little bamboozled first thing this morning, take your hands clasped in the other direction, so whichever thumb is on top is now on bottom, and roll your hands the other way. And a roller coaster, because I think this is fun and it makes fun shapes. And make your book, read it, rip it, and flip it. And I have my yoga mat under me today because I just got a new one, and I'm wearing black leggings, and there's lots of cat hair. So trying to prevent all of the cat hair I can from getting on me. And I'm just going to pull back on these. This feels real good. Lift up my palms, give those fingers a good stretch. If you are a person who likes to crack your knuckles, this is probably the time to do it. Get all that out of your system. And handstand hands, rocking it out here. I do have my special guest in the background. He's real sleepy today. I don't think he came and visited last week when we did this, but don't worry. He's here today, aren't you? Whoa, getting some good chin scratches in. He's all about it. Alrighty, and I'm just going to close out whatever screen is happening on my laptop, and we're just going to waddle like a duck or a goose. And fingers in, do a little bit more waddling. What kind of big game snacks do you guys have in today? You guys, I'm assuming buffalo chicken dip because that's all my husband ever talks about. But if you are having a big game today and there's somebody at your house, we're going to do some partner stretches in a little bit. So you can use your partner and have them help you stretch your muscles out. If you don't have a partner, then you can just skip those and do them the best you can without, and that's okay. So now that we have this, I'm just going to sit up and I'm just going to do big shoulder rolls up, try to bring my shoulders all the way to my ears and roll them back and drop them down. And I'm just going to do several of these around and around and around and try to get those shoulders warmed up. I see we have some friends watching and commenting. I can read your comments right over here to the side. I have my laptop so I can see what's happening. And Jackie is here to answer questions, so I don't have to take time out of stretching. But if you drop a comment, we'll get back to you. And now I'm just going to go the opposite way and roll them forward. This always makes me feel a little bit like a cat that's trying to throw up. That's a really weird analogy, but the way you roll your shoulders forward, I don't know. Alrighty, and another reason, have a sweatshirt on, keep my joints good and warm. I like it really warm. I'm very cold-blooded, but the guys in my house are always hot, and so it's constantly freezing in my house. So I'm trying to keep my muscles really warm. So I have on my thick leggings and I have my sweatshirt on because I'm always cold. All right, now we're gonna do, I think we did these last week, our shoulder rolls with our strap, where we roll up and around and back, trying to internally rotate in the front, which means turn those muscles in towards each other, and then externally rotate in the back and rotate our pinkies together. So figure out how wide you need this. I'm going to scooch up a little bit, and we're just going to do like 10 of these up and back, trying to make sure your shoulders are even all the way around. That's one. That's two. You can see my shoulders come up by my ears just a little bit because they have to. That's just the way your joints work. And around and back in. That's three. And four. And five. And six. If at this point your shoulders are starting to get a little loose and you feel like you could take a hand in, maybe go in just a smidge, make it a little bit harder. And seven. And one more. And eight. Okay, cool. I hope your shoulders are feeling really, really warm there. So now we're just going to do one more kind of shoulder shrug. And like I said, I have several layers on, so you can't see what my shoulder blades are doing. But I want you to pretend like you're trying to pull your shoulder blades together and you're really pushing your chest forward, and then you're contracting your shoulders in so your back is really rounded. So that is the motion we're going to go for. We're going to hop into a tabletop position right here, just hips over knees and shoulders over wrists, and we're just going to do shrugs and try to bring our shoulder blades together and then push them down and away, and then bring them down and together and then down and away. And we're just going to try to do this a few more times. So this is different than a normal cat and cow because it's really focusing on just my shoulders and not my entire torso. A few more of these. And one more, shrug, and out of it. Alrighty. We are going to do a couple more little shoulder warm-ups. I hope you're getting warm because I feel warm already. And then I'm going to get into my partner stretch. So we are going to do, let's do some child's poses just to make sure you're good and ready. So toes together, knees wide. I have them at the edges of my yoga mat. And I'm just going to stretch forward. You can put your chin on the ground. I like to put, or your forehead. Most people usually put their forehead. I like to put my chin just because I'm pretty flexy, but it's up to you. And what we're going to do now that we're here is we're going to walk our hands over to one side and get a nice stretch through our obliques, and then a little bit pulling into that upper shoulder. So I'm going to walk hands over, my hips stay, and I'm going to feel it really pull into that side, and I'm getting it all the way up into my shoulder, and I'm just going to hang out for a few seconds. and back to the center, and walk your hands to the other side. And back. Oh, all my hips just popped, all 2 of them. Alrighty. We are going to go into our puppy dog pose. I'm going to go ahead and start with 1 yoga block under my hands. If your chest isn't quite to the ground or you're not quite there yet, feel free to do it with no yoga blocks. It's up to you. But remember, we keep our hips stacked over our knees, and it's harder if your knees are further apart. Or I'm sorry, it's harder if your knees are together. It's a little bit easier if your knees are further apart. So let's go ahead and get into that position. We're going to do 8. Let's do 10 pulses and then hold for 10. Sorry, my foam roller's over here. We're going to use that to open our backs in just a couple of minutes. So, ready, and pulse for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and come out of it. I hope you're feeling pretty loose. I feel lots and lots of things on my muscles right through here. Alrighty, and let's get ready to do it again in just another second. I'm going to, my yoga block was laying flat like this before. I'm going to turn it up so it's just a smidge higher before I stack another one on top of it, because, so you can see there's a little bit of a height difference there. There we go. Alrighty, get ready for the next one. Remember, we're doing 3 rounds of these. So, ready, and pulse for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And hop on out of that. Shrug it out. Shake out your muscles. We have 1 more left to do. And this time I'm going to put both of my yoga blocks flat like this and put my hands on top of them because I have them stacked up. If you feel like you're getting pretty close to getting your chest down on 1, like on the ground, maybe try putting a yoga block under your hands and then try it without the yoga block after you do the stretch, and you may just make it to the ground in that one because you're pushing your muscles just a little bit past where you think they can go, and sometimes they'll help you get to that extra little bit of stretch in your muscles that you need. So, alrighty, last round of puppy dog poses. And if any of these stretches feel really good for you and you want to hold them for a little bit longer, please go for it. This is live right now, but it will be up on like YouTube later, and so you can go through and pause where you need to and do things on your own time if you miss out part of it now. So, last round, hands on top of these blocks, scooting back so I have room for my chest to go, and pulses. And this one, my head's tilted very far back, and it's hard for me to talk fairly loud. So we're just going to count in our heads for this one, or you can count for me. Ready, and alrighty. That felt really, really good. Shrugging it out. Alrighty, I am hot enough now and sweaty enough now that the sweatshirt has to come off. But don't forget to check out our website because you can find all kinds of cool stuff like this and more. on our website, and I do not have a Spintronic shirt on, so sorry, but show off our cute little logo that's hanging out on the back of this. Ta-da! Alrighty, so we're gonna do just some cats and cows real quick to start warming up the rest of our spine. So move these over out of the way, get back to my tabletop position, hips over knees and shoulders over wrists, and we're just gonna try to up into a cat position with its big arched back, and then cow and sink our tummy down and look up at the sky. And we're just going to go through several of these. And I'm going to roll my chest out through these positions. And back the other way. Alrighty, that's good and warmed up. While we're here, let's go ahead and let's do some leg lifts, and then let's do some leg lifts. Let's do some donkey kicks. So our leg lifts, I'm going to move up my mat just a little bit so I don't kick the couch. And I'm just going to move my knees together because it's easier to balance if one is in the center. And then I'm going to just straight out and kick up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the other side for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to do donkey kicks, so keeping our leg bent like this and then really kicking up. It's going to hit some different muscles. We're going to do 10 of those on each side too. So ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the other side. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A little out of breath there, but good stretches should keep you warm the whole time. And last thing we're going to do here before I get into a little partner stretchy stretch is we're going to do some people call them glute bridges, some people call them half bridges. We're going to do a few of those. We're going to do 5 with both legs on the ground, trying to roll up as high as we can. And then we're going to walk our feet together and do 5 on each leg with one leg lifted in the air. It doesn't matter how high it is, just try to keep it straight. So I'm going to go right here like this and lay down. And I'm going to press my hands flat into the ground. I really like to keep them right here by my sides because it allows me some pressure to make sure I'm doing this right. And I'm going to walk my feet fairly close to me, not all the way up as far as I can get them, but fairly close. And what we're going to do is we're just going to roll up, trying to get our hips and our spine rolled up as high as we possibly can, and then roll down. So we're just really trying to roll all the way through all of our vertebrae. And another, that's 2. Don't do these fast. Make sure you're rolling all the way through. And 3. And 4. 1 more. And 5. And yes, these are a good exercise, but they also warm up your glutes and your abs and all that good stuff that we need for bridges. because bridges really are a whole body experience. So now I'm going to walk my feet together. I'm going to start with one leg pointed straight in the air, and we're going to do 5, rolling up just like that. That's 1, 2, 3, trying to get my hips all the way up, 4, and 1 more, 5, and switch sides. And then after we do this, let's get a quick drink because I know I'm out of breath. So point and roll up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job, friends. And roll up, and I'm going to grab a quick little drink. And I'll just show off some of my Spintronic stickers while I'm at it. Right there. And then this personal favorite. Guard performers have nice butts, and it has rifles on it. And I think that's really funny. One of my favorites. Alrighty. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw my foam roller. Got a foam roller. If you don't have that and you have yoga blocks, you can use yoga blocks instead. It's not quite as good. Or you can grab a towel and roll a towel up into a cylinder, or even your yoga mat. These are really nice because you can roll your back and get all the kinks out. But otherwise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this, and I'm going to find it just kind of under my shoulder blades. And I'm just going to lay there for a minute and let it really open like the thoracic part of my spine. So like the vertebrae kind of that are connected to my ribs, because that part of our back tends to be really tight. And if we're bending with all of our lumbar spine and nothing up here or with our hips, then we're really putting a lot of unnecessary strain on our back. And so laying down like this for a couple of minutes is really just going to help us open up that part of our spine. Alternatively, if you don't think that you're getting a good enough stretch and you have kind of a rounded couch arm like this guy is, you could always lay over that, like put your feet on the ground or lay on the couch and just let your spine roll over it. I'm not going to do that because there is a glass topped coffee table right there, and I do not want to bang my head on it or do anything to hurt it. So I'm going to use my foam roller, but couch arms are completely fair game as long as nobody in your house cares. But I'm an adult, and I can use my couch as how I would like. All right, so I'm just going to kind of find it right here, sit on the ground, and I'm just going to lay over it, these arms up. And as you can see, my chest is kind of lifted, but I'm really pressing my bottom down into it. If this is a difficult position for you, then you feel free to grab a pillow or something to lay under your hips instead, so you get a little bit more lift. And don't forget to breathe. Oh, okay. Honestly, if you do nothing else in this besides lay yourself over a foam roller and let it stretch you out, that's good enough, okay? I mean, not if you want to do like crazy intense stretches, but if you're just looking for a little bit of back flexibility, laying there for like 30 seconds to a minute is going to make you feel like you're going to break in half, but it's also going to make you feel so much better. So this is where we get into the partner stuff. I'm going to do a quick warm up, just 10 reps, hold on the 10th for as long as you can. And then I'm going to grab my husband and I'm going to show you a real easy partner stretch that you can do. And this person doesn't have to be flexible. They don't even have to be particularly strong. You just have to communicate with them so that they don't break you in half. So I'm going to lay down on my tummy and I'm going to get ready. I'm going to stick my feet under the couch because I'm out of room. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hands behind my head and I'm going to do like some Superman crunches, reverse crunches maybe, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to do 10, and then on the 10th one, I'm going to try to hold for a few seconds, and then that's going to open up the rest of what I need, and I'm going to show you how to make it more intense. So, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold. And down. If you have a partner, you can make them hold your feet. I forgot to mention this before we did this. My couch is holding my feet very nicely. So this is where you are going to grab your partner. So could you please join us? Thank you. Hi, spin enthusiasts. This is my husband. If you can see his hand, I'm going to need you to stand up. Okay. I'm going to need you to stand at the end of my mat here, and I'm going to lay back down on my stomach. So what you're going to need your person to do is you are going to lay face down, and you're going to lift your arms up. You're going to try to grab their wrists because it provides a little better support for you. And you are going to grab their arms, they'll grab your wrists, and for your partner, start by making sure your person on the ground's arms are straight, and then pull back, both up and backwards, until they say they're good. And we're going to try to hold it for 10, 20 seconds or so. This is kind of an intense one. So get my big yawn out of the way. I'm going to go down here, straighten my arms, and then pull up and back, 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 back. Oh, okay, right. Let me tilt my head back. And we're going to hold. And let me down slowly. Don't drop your partner face first into everything. That was a lot. We're going to do one more. This time, we're going to focus on the pulling back instead of the pulling straight up, because that was a lot of lumbar spine. And this is a great way to target all of the areas of your spine. So just communicate with your partner and tell them what you need, and take a second to lay face down on the ground. Okay. Going in for round 2. Don't forget to tilt your head back, by the way. Yeah. And then pull back this more. Straighten my arms, straighten my arms. There we go. Okay. And a little more, please. Okay. And let me down. Oh. Take a second if you need it. And then we're going to do one more. That's an intense stretch. Alrighty, last one, friends. That's good. All right. And just lay on the ground for a second. Maybe pop your back if you need to. Alrighty. Pet the kitty. He deserves it. Take a big drink. We're going to move on to the next stretch. You're going to need your partner for one more stretch in a little bit. So tell them not to run away, but they can hang out. And I'm just going to pull back into a child's pose and try to let my back relax a little bit. All right. Alrighty, so now that we've gotten all of that taken care of, what we are going to do is we are going to start working on our bridges. I feel like last week I really just jumped the gun and got right into it without fully preparing you. If your back is really tight, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find a couch, and I'm going to hop on this one, and you're just going to want to sit on it backwards like you did when you were a child and lay down off of it like this, and then put your hands and get ready to push up. If you have like ottoman or something that sticks out a little bit further so you're not cramped up against the back of the couch, that is even more preferable. The goal here is really straight arms, so try not to start with your arms way out underneath your shoulders. It's harder in the long run to get your arms straight if they're right here under your shoulders. But if you're going to work on back bends or anything like that some of you all told me you wanted to work on, then you're really, really going to want to train these correctly. Because if you start with arms out here or arms bent, if you go too fast, you will bonk your head on the ground. See it happen every day. So trust me on this one. Hands under your shoulders. We did a lot of shoulder opening stuff, so really try to press up. And then if you can do this with straight arms, try to press your chest through to get those shoulders behind your ears. And hold this for a few seconds. If that is really accessible, roll off your couch as difficult as possible. If that feels better, then instead of laying on it, you can just bridge up your feet next to it and walk your feet up on it. That takes your center of balance just a little bit different. And so it's a little bit harder than if you start sitting on it. If that's pretty easy, then we're gonna work on bridging up on the ground. A lot of yoga or other stretches for older people or people that are maybe a little bit tighter in their muscles say to come onto the crown of your head first. I don't really like doing that because I think the floor is really hard. But if you get a pillow and put under your head, totally come to the crown of your head first and then push up. But I would really just work on some strengthening exercises so you don't have to sit on your head. I feel like that makes bridges a lot more difficult, at least for me. So we are going to get ready and do one more bridge, and then I'm going to show you a way to make it a little more intense or maybe a little bit easier depending on your needs. So get ready for one more bridge. If you can get your arms straight, the next goal I personally think is getting legs straight and then walking your feet together. So legs straight, walk feet together, and then feet together and legs straight, because that is definitely the most difficult one. That also requires you to be really loose in your hip flexors. We have a guest. This is Pickle. Pickle hasn't been joining us, but Pickle's back. He's a back-bendy kitty too. He's a gymnastics cat. You want to give us a big stretch? Big stretch, Pickle. He's just gonna lay, but that's okay. He's a good boy. Gymnastics cat. Whoop. The internet missed you, Pickle. They've been wondering where you at. Jelly Bean's been getting all of that, and now I'm covered in cat hair I was trying to avoid. Anyway, so I'm going to show you the different options for some bridges, and then we're going to get into one last partner stretch and a bridge, and then we are going to be all done, do some counter stretches, all done, and then you can go enjoy your big game, sports, snacks, and big game if you're a sports fan. You're what? My husband's been making dumb dad jokes all day because that's who he is as a person, and I don't know that he can communicate anything other than dad jokes. So, alrighty, one more bridge, making sure those arms are pushing as straight as you can. So, if you can, straight legs, and they're apart. If you can, feet together, knees together, and then if you do that, straighten your legs too. I'm bending a lot in my lumbar spine, not a lot in my upper back, which is a problem. For some extra strength, lift and hold. and come down and just curl into a ball if you need to. Some people like to rock and roll it out like this. I feel like a little armadillo. Or you can go into a plow and put your feet on the couch, I guess. Alrighty. One more quick drink of water because it's important to be hydrated. And then we are going to hop into our last assisted stretch, do a little counter stretch, and then get off here because I don't have any big game snacks prepared because I don't care. But we won't be watching that. We'll probably be watching like a movie or something. Or I will be searching for pots online because I have lots of plants that need repotted. Alrighty, if I could have my lovely assistant come join me, stand right there at the top of my mat. So, yeah, that's perfect. Feet about that far apart. You're going to be grabbing their ankles. So if they have really smelly feet, maybe ask him to like change socks or something. He's all good. I know he showered recently, so it's fine. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay down. This might be a little weird if this is like your coworker or something and you just decide to stretch during lunch break. But this is my husband or your friend or a close teammate, whatever. But you are going to lay. I'm going to put my hands on his ankles and I'm going to bridge up. And what he is going to do is he's going to bend over and try to grab my thoracic spine and try to pull my legs as flat, or my chest as flat into his legs as I can. If you are pretty strong, you can do this yourself against a wall. But I find that having somebody to help you with this and just pull you closer makes it a little bit easier. So right here, grabbing onto ankles and bridge up and pull chest and yep, and. Oh my God, this is intense.
That like loosen up a little bit?
No, this is great.
Okay.
And let me down. Gently, gently, gently. Oh. So as you can see, the bridge I just did a minute ago, I really couldn't push my chest through that far. I just didn't have, like, all of it was coming from my shoulders because my shoulders are very flexible. But having somebody to assist you in that way means that you can really pull through your upper spine, and I can feel it like in my chest and all of these muscles around my sternum. I can feel where it pulled. I'm going to do that one more time because that was an awesome bridge. And sometimes your body just needs a little bit of help.
I felt your back pop.
Oh yeah, my back popped big time. That felt great. We're going to do one more of those. I'm going to roll out my wrists because they kind of hurt. And then I know that my partner would really love to go play video games because normally that's what he does during my stretch sesh. So I'm going to let him run away right after this stretch, and then we'll do a little cool down, and then we'll talk about next week. Okay. Ow.
That good?
Yep. And come down. Oh, yes. And if you have somebody who cares about making sure you don't fall to the ground, they will lower you down gently like that. That's really nice. Anyway, thank you so much for your assistance. You're mostly just legs today, but I appreciate it.
They're good legs.
And so just lay on the ground for a minute if your body needs it. I'm going to rock and roll just a little bit. And I know some of my students have been doing some of these videos. So glad you guys are here. So glad you guys are doing this because it's going to make you all more prepared for the lesson plans I have planned. Yeah, I'm going to hold a plow for just another second. I'm really feeling it in my chest today because of that extra help in my thoracic spine. Alrighty. I think that was a pretty good stretch. I feel way looser, way more open. I definitely did more bendy things today than I have in a minute. My bridges looked fantastic. I'm really glad you guys could come join me. I saw that there were several of you popping in off and on throughout the live, and I'm sure I'll catch many of you guys on the replay, especially because today is big game day. Go sports, do the thing, win the points. I believe in you. But yeah, so I've covered splits, I've covered back bendy things. If there's anything you guys would like to see in the future, please let me know. You can find me on Instagram. I'm not super active, or you can let Spintronics Guard know. And yeah, we'll find out. We'll see what you want to see. If I don't really hear anything, I'll probably do one more week of some back stuff, some bridge, back bendy stuff, and maybe we'll start working on like some back bends or something. I don't know. You guys tell me what you want to see so I can help you fulfill your bendy dreams. Thank you guys so much for coming to join me this week. I really appreciate it, especially since, you know, lots of activities happening. Awesome. Yes, that was awesome back stretching. I am so glad. I'm so glad you guys had a good time. And this is here on the internet now forever in case you want to do it again. So let all your friends know. Anyway, drop me a DM, drop Jackie a DM, send us a post, comment on a story, tag us. Don't forget to use the hashtag Sunday Stretch Sesh and let us see all of your bendy, flexible progressions and where you're at and where you want to be. Yeah, thanks guys so much for joining me. I really love being here with you guys. Thanks so much, and I will see you all next week. Have a great week. Bye.